Listen and practice.
Goal setting is important because it reminds you of how far you have come. There is nothing better than finding your old goals and looking at how challenging and difficult you thought they were. When you see all your progression laid out like that, it can be very motivating, she says. Asking questions like, what are you trying to improve your English? And why are you learning English is a constant reminder of where you're going with your language learning journey, according to Maria. She adds that goal setting contributes to higher motivation levels. If language learners think of goals as bricks and learning a language as building a house, Narita says learners will quickly realize they have to have solid foundations. That way, we have not got gaps. We can build this beautiful house that's very strong and it can do what you want it to do, she says.
Listen and practice.
What are examples of good goals? So if goal setting is important in learning English, how do we set good goals? First, context is important. Maria says it's important to set personal goals within the context of what you're doing. Ask yourself, are you preparing for university? Or are you learning for leisure? That will help you set the appropriate learning goals. Another thing to consider is what type of goal you want to set. Again, it depends on your context. Here are some examples of the types of goals you can set for language learning success.
Listen and practice. Time-based goals.
An example of a time-based goal is spending a fixed amount of time, as say 30 minutes, on something related to English every day or every second day. For example, reading a novel, watching an English drama, or listening to an audiobook. That way you can see your progress through the book or series, and you can tick it off at the end, and you are immersed in that English world for that time.
Listen and practice. Goals that are specific and attainable.
Maria highlights the importance of breaking goals down into smaller chunks and making them more achievable. If you can feel like you're achieving, then your motivation will naturally be higher, she says. In addition, you should make sure your goals are attainable. You want to do your basics first, so you can build on that, Narita says.
Listen and practice. Goals in the short term that support the long-term goal.
Maria says it's all right to have big goals that can only be achieved in the long term. For instance, the goal to improve your reading. But what would you need to do is to create shorter-term goals that will help you achieve that bigger goal of improving your reading. So break it down. What do you need to do? You need to be able to improve your vocab. You need to understand how texts are structured. You need to be able to read for just. You need to be able to understand the author's intention or attitude. So breaking it down into those smaller steps, Maria says.
Listen and practice. Goals that involve things in your daily life.
Because we all live in a technology-driven world, with most of us having access to smartphones and the internet. Narita and Maria explain how you can use your digital tools to immerse yourself instantly in the English language through video or audio. Maria says there are many digital tools that are available at your fingertips to help you be more independent and work on some of your language learning goals at your own time. Narita points out websites, videos, apps, and social media platforms that can help you as a language learner. If you keep interacting with people through the internet, you can see your goals working. You might have trouble when you first begin how to speak to them or how to write to them. And then gradually over time, you see yourself improving. And that's a big motivator because that's why we learn a language. To communicate, she says.
Listen and practice. Revision goals.
One thing language learners forget is setting revision goals. Narita points out the importance of revision because revision helps you internalize the learning points. As you build your grammar, for example, you should go back and revise, and eventually the grammar that you did a month ago doesn't need revision anymore because you can use it. Such revision goals also contribute to language learning success because they help you feel great about your progress.
Listen and practice. When goal setting is not effective,
Maria cautions learners to ensure the goals they set can be measured and ticked off. And if you are trying to work on a goal that is starting to feel too difficult for you, Narita says it can get really frustrating. Such experiences demotivate you and don't contribute to language learning.
listen and practice. And don't be afraid to start over.
If you've set the right type of goals but still feel like you're not making progress, Maria and Narita say that happens and that's okay. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to put it aside for a while. Maybe try again later or maybe simplify it a little bit, she says. Maria reminds us that goal setting is not this one-off activity. I think it's this iterative process of constantly reflecting and resetting that kind of keeps you on track.